Hello. Can you feel that something is coming to an end in your life at the moment? As if a story that started almost 2 years ago is now reaching a point of completion. On August 28th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse at around 5 degrees of Pisces. And this eclipse can mark an important moment for you in your life. It's the end of a chapter, a realization, but also an acceleration that may ask you to adapt faster than expected. A few weeks earlier, on the 12th of August, we had a solar eclipse in the sign of Leo, connected to the South Node. So the South Node speaks about what we already know, our comfort zone, old habits, identities, old ways of doing things that belong to the past. So this Leo eclipse may have brought something to the surface that we are ready to leave behind. And now with this lunar eclipse in Pisces, we are on the other side of this eclipse season. It's really an eclipse of transition. Because we had the start of, the change of nodes, lunar nodes in the signs of Aquarius and Leo happening, especially with the last eclipse. And now this eclipse in Pisces is nearly the end of that cycle that started 2 years ago in September 2024 in the signs of Pisces and Virgo. So, it's often the case that we have those two cycles. One is ending and one is starting. And it's like there's a transitional period that's taking place at the moment. So the question is, what are you completing in order to make space for something else, for something new in your life? Because as you know, endings are always there. They're not negative. They're there to actually make space for new beginnings. And that's totally, the usual message of eclipses. It really accelerates big changes in your life. So sometimes we know deep inside that a situation is, over long before our mind is ready to accept it. And the body knows, our energy knows. And sometimes our outer reality simply ends up showing is ending a situation, and we can really see it clearly, with those circumstances coming to an end. So, it's really for you to connect to your inner world and see and feel what is ending for you at the moment. So this full moon eclipse in Pisces is conjunct to the North Node in Aquarius. So it's, called traditionally the head of the dragon. So there's something really, like destiny-like, really strong happening at the moment in the sky, because the sun and the moon also form a T-square with Uranus and Gemini on top of the eclipse. So, Uranus brings that energy of acceleration, of sudden changes, rapid changes. And a T-square brings a lot of tension, between those signs of Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini. So, I can really feel like, stormy weather, a lot of pressure building up to a big storm, and then, it's the explosion. That's really what that T-square with Uranus is doing, on top of the eclipse. So, yeah, there's really something like, destiny, acceleration, that is trying to put you in the right place at the right time with the right people. It's really something like you can feel it, like a divine intervention. So it asks us to think differently. With Uranus, we can reinvent ourselves much faster than our mind had planned. We're not always ready for it, but Uranus actually gives us that kick to do it, even if to take action and to move ahead, even if we're not ready, even if we don't feel ready. So a change can happen really suddenly. New information can shift our perception. A decision, suddenly becomes obvious to you. Something that seemed stuck for months can start moving very quickly. So pay attention to what is happening around you during this time, during this eclipse time. But more importantly, pay attention to what is happening inside of you, because you really want to connect to your body and to see, how you feel. That's your intuition, especially since this eclipse is in the sign of Pisces. It's the sign of emotions, of feelings, of intuition, of inner knowing. So you want to listen to your intuition during this time, and you will see things, really clearly. Also, go back to September 2024, because that's when that cycle, that Pisces-Virgo cycle started. It started in September 2024, on the 17th of September. We had the first lunar eclipse in Pisces. So I really invite you to go back to that time. What was beginning in your life for you in September 2024? What was changing? What were you feeling without yet knowing where it would take you? Maybe, something was starting to shift in your work, in a relationship, in your home, or the way you work, your health, your spirituality, or, the relationship with yourself maybe was starting to change. So really look at all this cycle, this 2-year cycle, and see what has shifted for you. And also, if you can have a look specifically at your natal chart, that will be even better, because then you can have more personal information around. Look at 5 degrees of Pisces to see which area of your life has been activated, which house in your chart. And also, more generally, look at the Pisces-Virgo axis, which houses of your chart has that axis been activating for you. And then you will understand more what is this eclipse in Pisces doing for you, because it's ending that story. It's nearly the end. The end of that cycle will be in February 2027. That will be the real end of that cycle that started in September 2024. But, it's the last Pisces eclipse. So, look at what has been happening for you and in which area of your chart. That can really be insightful for you. What else is happening at this time of the eclipse? We also have Mars in Cancer. So Mars in Cancer is not really at ease, in that sign. So if you feel that you're not really motivated, or you lack a bit of vitality right now, you know, it's pretty normal because with Mars in Cancer, you actually act from your feelings, you know. You are really connected to your inner world, to your sense of safety. And so the way you take action becomes much more connected to your emotions and to your family, to your home, you know, to your little nest. You really need to feel a sense of protection, you know, feeling that you're in your little safe bubble. So yeah, so it's not, so even if we have that big eclipse with the energy of Uranus, with Mars in Cancer, you're going to feel like just following the flow, you know, not pushing hard too much, you know, on doing things out of your comfort zone. Now it's not really exactly the time. It will be the time later, but for the moment, it's more a matter of, you know, little steps and really listening to your emotions, connecting to emotions. It's really, we are really connected to the water element, especially since the eclipse is in a water sign of Pisces. Also, we're going to have Venus from the end of August is going to be in its shadow period from the 31st of August before turning retrograde in October. So we are gradually entering a period when relationships, values, desires, and the way we love will ask for more attention. What do you really want from a relationship? What are you no longer willing to accept? Do your relationships still match the person you have become right now? Again, your body will give you a very simple answer. Does this relationship feel like expansion, or does it feel like contraction? All your answers are very simple and clear. It's just your brain, you know, that tries to make it more complicated when you don't want to face the truth of your inner truth, you know, of your intuition. So ultimately, this eclipse brings us back to a very simple question. What do you already know inside, but haven't yet accepted in your outer reality, your outer world? The cycle that started in September 2024 is slowly moving towards its completion, and Uranus can accelerate the process. You don't need to know every step of the process right now, but you can listen to what is already there. Your feelings, your dreams, your inner knowing, your intuition, your body, and notice what is asking to change now for you. So tell me in the comments what started for you around September 2024 and what feels like it may be coming to an end right now for you. And if you would like to understand how this eclipse is affecting your birth chart and what it is bringing into focus in your life, you can book an individual session with me. I will put all the information underneath the video in the description. And if you feel you are going through a bigger life transition, especially with this eclipse, as I said, it's really an eclipse of transition between two cycles. Maybe your old life no longer feels right, but the new one isn't clear yet either. So I also offer my new Aligned Life Mentorship Program. And with that mentorship program, we work together on what is happening inside you, your blocks, your energy, the messages from your body, and the tangible actions that can help you create a life that feels more aligned with who you are today. So please like this video, share it with people that you feel really need it. and subscribe to this channel if you want to follow the upcoming energies and the rest of this eclipse cycle through its final eclipse in February 2027. So I see you soon and enjoy this eclipse time. Bye-bye.